Today we're making bibimbap right here on today's Pick of the Day with me, Curtis Aikens. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous dish. We're gonna get everything ready and then finish it up here in this part of the show. So let's go, not to the video, but to the frying pan, because I want to wok with you. All right, I had to do that. Just had to do that. We've got our wok nice and hot here, and to that I'm going to drizzle some sesame oil. Okay, I got sesame oil. Remember, you want to wring it in from the outside to season up the wok. Right? You see how hot that is? What I want to add first are my bean sprouts, and what we've done here, I just blanched them a bit. You know, the bean sprouts, but you really don't have to worry about blanching bean sprouts because they're such a small little gorgeous item. Stand back, don't sizzle yourself. There you go. Good, aren't those gorgeous? Ow! Now, I want to, my utensils here and turn them over. It doesn't take long to get those bean sprouts cooked. We're gonna add some soy sauce along with our sesame seeds. Can you see me in my smoke screen? It's a smoke screen. Hey, baby, what's up? Now, let's add some green onions. We're going to some of those spring onions. Oh, this smells so good. The crew is going, yeah, baby, we can't wait to eat this. I got baby on the brain today. Hi, kids. Dad misses you. Can't wait to get there to see you. Curtis and Cole. Oh, yeah. Now, this is looking good. I'm going to add some ginger and garlic. Not ginger, well, ginger spice is going in the pan today, okay? Here we go, a little ginger. And what's that? That'd be the garlic. Ow! I am having a blast. Remember, guys, this is a bibimbap, a classic Korean dish that you and the kids will have fun putting together. A lot of things you can work with there. All right, turn everything over. Now, I've got a pan down here someplace. You see how quick it was frying that up? All right, I've got a dish right here. You know what, I'm going to give that another second because I want those onions to give me a little more flavor, but not too much. Don't let me forget about that, guys, okay? Let's go over here. I want to show you I've got cucumbers. I've got some English-style, some European-style cucumbers sliced up. What I want you to do here, we're going to prep these for our bibimbap. I want to take and add some salt. We're going to salt them, okay? Now, pour some water over them. And at home, I want you to allow these to sit for about an hour, okay? Then drain them, okay, with seasoning them up. I want you to drain them and pat them dry. Let me show you what they look like. We've got some right here. They're nice and dry. Let's get our, follow me. We're ready over here. I want to remove this from the heat. Oh, this is beautiful. What do you guys think of that? It smells incredible. All these are the things that we're going to need for our bibimbap when we start to assemble it. There we go. Now, look at that wok. Look at the seasoning in that wok. Can you guys get a shot of the wok there? This is the perfect time. Your wok is flavored up. You can go ahead and stir fry other things in here. If you're having a party tonight, your wok is good to go right now. It's got a lot of oil still in it. It's got the flavor from all the veggies that you just sauteed up. Now, let's get back over to our cucumbers. Remember, we've taken these, we salted them, put some water in there, and allowed it to sit for an hour at home. Now, here we go. They're nice and flavored. Those are beautiful. Oh, I love cucumbers like that. Now, what we're going to add to our dressing, or to our cucumbers, got a little sesame oil. Okay. Along with some vinegar. And we got a bit of sesame seeds. There's a lot of sesame seed in this bibimbap. But I like that, you know. The only other recipe I can think of that you use that much sesame seeds, we just add a bit of sugar there, would be the Benny wafers down in, that you find a lot down in South Carolina. Okay, now just take ahead and take this and toss this over. Turn it over really nicely, okay? And we're just about ready to get going. You're gonna make sure all the cucumbers are into your oils and all of the flavor there gets combined. So let's recap our ingredients here. We've got the stir fry, the bean sprouts, the onions, and all those wonderful ingredients right there. Got our cucumbers. Now move over to my far right, your left. Earlier, the first part of the show, we prepared our spinach, okay? And we've got our fiddlehead ferns. Now, there's our mixture. Where's the rice? Here's our rice right here. So we got everything laid out to make our bibimbap. And I want you at home to get an oven-proof dish, okay? I'm using a glass bowl here. This is a mixing bowl. only because I feel television is visual, and I want you to see the layers in here. Make sure you get a glass, not a glass bowl, unless it's specifically oven-proof, because I don't want this to explode in your oven. Use a baking dish, something deep, okay? So we're going to do the first layer. It's going to be almost like making a lasagna. In fact, this reminds me of a dish I did with LeVar Burton on Reading Rainbow. We made a spinach, I called it Rainbow Lasagna, a recipe I created for his show. And that, you can find that on my website, curtisaikens.com, where we took rice and we cooked it down and we made a lasagna with rice and spinach. So we're making our first layer of rice. This is a layered dish, Mama, Daddy. Okay, first layer is rice. In your dish, you can use a flat dish, any type of pan that will work. Now, we've got our rice there. We could add a little, let's add a little more. You guys like rice? Yeah, I see your heads nodding. How does Dr. Dre say, let me see your head, Bob? There you go. All right, we've got rice. Now, we're going to take our bean sprout, our stir-fried mixture, and there's a lot of flavor right here, okay? And that's going to be our next layer. Also, this is going to flavor up that wonderful rice there, all that sesame and those wonderful flavors, the ginger and things. It's just going to kind of drain down into our rice. So when you serve this up at the table, it's going to be da bomb. Whoa! Let's get all that in there. Take your time. Don't leave anything. Oh, this smells so good. Reminds me of egg foo young, that aroma there. Now, our cucumbers are next. I think I'm going to use a slotted spoon here because I want to just get the cucumbers in there. We've got enough liquid, but it will cook off in the oven, okay? I don't want to just dump them in there. Just take and make a nice little layer of the to put together this bibimbap. Looks good, huh? Bibimbap. Can you say that at home? I hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Got it. All the kids, mamas, daddies, bibimbap. Got to use them lips. There we go. Get it in there. Now, does that look good? Y'all like that? Okay, cool. Now, we've got the last two ingredients, things we started out with. And we did the spinach first, so let's put the spinach down first, okay? And then we'll finish up with those fiddlehead ferns because I think they're just beautiful. And I hope I'm not waving this around too much. Take your time, a layer of spinach all the way around. Remember all that wonderful flavor that we have by sauteing the spinach with the blanched spinach, but we added that sesame oil, we added a bit of sugar, and there's a vinegar. All those ingredients add so much flavor to this dish. How does that look, guys? Can you see that at home in the glass dish? Remember, you're using an oven-proof dish, not glass. Anybody explodes, it is your fault, not mine, because I've warned you. All righty. Now, one more layer. This looks pretty good. Is our fiddlehead ferns. The Great Northwest. We got these from Washington State, I believe. Like my accent? I want to be that big guy. What's that big Paul Bunyan guy, the farmer guy, the wood chopping guy? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this last layer together. When we get back, we'll wrap it up. I want you to go ahead and heat that oven to about 425. It's only going to need to be in the oven like 5 to 10 minutes. And when you get back, who knows what I've got up my sleeves here. So stick around for more Pick of the Day with yours truly, Curtis Aikens and the crew. We're talking about herbs, in particular the parsley family. Got all kinds of tidbits for you, so don't you go away. Hello, hello, hello. It's time again for Pick of the Day. Oh, gosh, I'm so excited about today's family. We're talking about herbs. Herbs have been around for thousands of years. In fact, they used to be cultivated for seeds, and they were start using cooking to cover up spoiled meats. Really is what it really started. It came about because you add those fresh herbs to cover up that foul odor and also to preserve things. Nowadays, herbs, at home we're using a lot of them in our foods. You're seeing TV chefs use them. So I figure we talk about fresh herbs today, but more importantly, we're going to deal with the parsley family, or specifically we're going to deal with the parsley family. Now, again, they become really, really popular and grown in importance. A lot of home cooks like to grow the window box herbs, like you see mine set up here, and chefs like to grow their own in their little restaurants. That way they can be assured of getting the freshest possible. This is the garden of a restaurant near Seattle called the Herb Farm, where Chef Jerry Traunfeld grows more varieties of herbs in this garden than most of us will ever see in a lifetime. I mean, look at that. They have 17 of what they call theme herb gardens, where they grow over 600 different kinds of herbs. That's amazing. And what a beautiful place this is. People of all sizes, small ones, big ones, they come from all over to see the gardens and to eat in the restaurant. The chef makes some pretty amazing food. They even use herbs to decorate the tables. And all they have to do is step right outside and pick whichever herbs they want. It doesn't get any fresher than that. I like that stuff. You know what? When you get a chance, whether you're in the East Coast, West Coast, or down south or up north, and you get a chance to see fresh food growing, I want you guys to get out and do that, especially if you have your kids with you. Take them out and let them see how fresh herbs are cultivated, how they're cropped and used, so that our kids can see the food the way it's in its natural state. That's why we try to bring you these little clips every day. Like I told you, we're going to talk about parsley today. Parsley is one of those, I think, one of the most misunderstood little herbs in the food world here. We see it a lot of times on our plates as garnish, but that was originally put there not only to make the plate look good, but it's also a breath freshener. So after you eat your meal, go ahead and take a bite of that parsley, especially if you're eating garlic or something like that. It will really, really tame that bad breath, okay? There are basically two types of parsley. Well, two types. There's a flat leaf, the Italian variety. Then there's the curly type, which which we see most widely used across the country. They both, I feel, have very, very wonderful flavors. A lot of folks think that this one, the Italian, cooks better, but I'm going to show you a little sauce later on where we use this one, the curly leaf parsley. So these are the two that are most popular. Other members of the parsley family, believe it or not, fresh dill. Look at that now. We have a little dill plant for you in my window box. Kind of cute. Isn't that neat? And this is something you can do at home. We've got just a little window box that you can go ahead and fill with dirt and grow your own fresh herbs. The fresh dill there, we see dill mostly used up, or we can use the dill seeds as well as the dill weed. This is called the dill weed. And we use them both in pickles, fresh pickles. I don't know if you've seen the cucumber show, but you will, when we use a little dill and stuff in the pickling. And I remember back when I was a kid, and Grandma would make fresh pickles. Oh, she would go get that fresh dill, get those dill seeds, and I'm telling you, oh, make you want to slap your mammy. Why? Because she couldn't make them pickles like Grandma. No, I'm just kidding. Mama makes some good pickles. Anyway, that is the dill. Now, right here, I have fennel. This is a small little fennel plant. When you see the fennel grows up, it has a big bulb on it. It can be about that, as big as my hand. Great cavity for stuffing. It's wonderful on the grill. But also another part of the fennel that is usable are the fennel seeds. Look at that right there. Can you see that? Should I put a handful there for you guys? I see my camera guys nodding their head. Let me see your head nod. But those are the fennel seeds. Those are usable also. Now, right next to it here, I have some cilantro. And this is a very delicate plant. We use a lot of this out on the West Coast in Mexican foods and also in Asian cuisine. This is sometimes called Chinese parsley. This is a fabulous, fabulous herb. I heard an interesting story last night. A friend of a friend moved to Ireland, and she couldn't find cilantro. So she has a friend from New York ship her cilantro over, and she's back at the market in Ireland and asking about well, why can't I find cilantro? Well, it's coriander here, ma'am. It's growing wild out in front of your hotel. She goes, I'm paying all this money to have stuff shipped over, and it's growing wild. Now, let me show you again. Here's the cilantro. The coriander seed is also usable, and you may sometimes see, can we get that, guys? Yeah. Sometimes you may see cilantro under the name in certain ethnic markets as coriander, okay? So be ready for that, all right? Let me do a little switch on, one other seed I want to show you. This is the anise seed right here. It's a very, very fine little seed that is very similar to the fennel in flavor, okay? But they look totally different. I'm going to bring some over and show you. I'm going to put some right beside the fennel seeds, and look at the difference there, okay? Can you see that? Oh, that's too tiny, huh? Curtis, that's a dumb thing to do, but you see how tiny those are compared to the fennel seeds. Let's do a little switch around here. I'm gonna kind of slide around, do my James Brown on a stool here, and show you this wonderful. I made a little parsley with the parsley and butter with garlic sauce over seafood. It's great over grilled tofu. You can use it on anything, okay? It's also wonderful over potatoes. Now, let me show you a couple of other things that you can do as far as garnishing with the parsley. Here, I've got some of that flat leaf, or you can use the coriander or cilantro and garnish the guacamole. Oh, wonderful, that avocado dip. And here again, I've got one in a nice little Thai coconut soup. Let me show you also the gremolata. Gremolata. This is a mixture of lemon zest and parsley. Great. It adds a nice little flavor. Remember, parsley is an herb. As far as the nutrition, has vitamin C, contains potassium and calcium. It's great to chew, like I said, to freshen that breath. Also, a quick little storing tip. Go ahead and clip the stems of your parsley, place it into a glass of water to keep it nice and fresh. And if you want to, you can tin it with a plastic bag, a big bag like this. And this will keep your parsley nice and fresh in the fridge. Remember my rule, I want you to use that produce within 3 days at max. After 3 days, you start to lose flavor and all those things. Hey, we got more stuff to tell you about parsley when we come back. I'm going to do for you a tabbouleh that I think you're going to love. So don't you go away. Let me get my chef's coat on. Hey, welcome back to the show. You know, during the break, you were just sitting around having a good time. I heard this great joke, but I can't tell you. But anyway, you know what I saw the other day in home up in Northern California? I'm out on my hike. I love hiking. I think I talked to you guys about the way I'm trying to take the weight off, but eat good food. That's what I'm trying to share with you on Pick of the Day. I'm coming in my hike up in Novato. I'm in Marin County, Northern California, and I saw a wild turkey run across the road. Man, that was cool. Ow! Anyway, get your kids out in the woods, enjoy nature, and just have fun. Get home, cook some good meals, have them help out. I've got my little red truck here, my little red Corvette. No, it's a red pickup truck, an old one. I want to talk to you about attitudes, some of the old attitudes with herbs. This I thought was really cool. And again, I got to give my props to my man John Jenkins for digging up these little tidbits for me. One of the ancient attitudes about parsley. The Greeks and Romans believe now, if you ate parsley, would prevent you from becoming intoxicated. In other words, you wouldn't get your buzz on, right? Now, on the other hand, the Egyptians thought cilantro would make you drunker. In other words, increase that intoxication. Isn't that something how on, two different sides, two different cultures had two different feelings about the same herb family? I thought that's pretty cool. Figured I'd share that with you. All right, here we go. Let's get busy. Got a recipe for you. We're going to make a tabbouleh. I love this. It's that Persian, Persian salad, Persian parsley salad. Absolutely love it. First time I ever had tabbouleh was in San Diego. My buddies Eddie and Mary Ayub. What we've got here, we've got some cracked wheat or bulgur right here. It's a hard item. It's a grain. Isn't that cool? That's nice stuff. What we want to do is soften that up. And there are two ways of softening it up. You can add your liquid to it now and just let it soak overnight. Like go ahead and add the ingredients. But here's a shortcut for you. I've got some water boiling in my little red pot. Y'all know I love red, don't you? Look at that. Little red, my tea kettle there. We're going to go ahead and add some water to it. We're just going to cover it. Whoa. Just want to cover our bulgur, our cracked wheat. Might help. There we go. Now, it's whistling to me, too. Now, go ahead and let that sit for about an hour, cool off. The cracked wheat will soften up. It will swell till it looks like this. Look at that. Now, what you want to do after it has sat for an hour, go ahead and strain it in cheesecloth or a very fine wire colander, okay? So you don't lose your wheat. And if you've got the cheesecloth, you go ahead and squeeze it out just a bit. Don't press it too much. Just kind of squeeze it out. It's still damp. Now, what this does is it allows the bulgur to absorb the flavors of all the other ingredients that we're going to add to it. Here, look, check this out. Ooh, this is parsley. We've got parsley, that about 3-4 bunches of parsley that we've removed from the stems and just chopped it up very fine. Isn't that gorgeous? We're going to add our parsley right to our bulgur, our cracked wheat. Now, this is the way you really get those nutrients out of the parsley. I talked to you earlier about it having vitamin C and being loaded with potassium and calcium. That's how you're going to get it when you really use a lot of it as opposed to just that garnish that you have at dinner. Go ahead and use a wooden spoon here to mix this up. But you guys, the best mixers, and I've said this before on the show, and it bears repeating, the best mixers are the ones that God gave us, and they're right there, okay? Those 10 little digits. But make sure you wash them really good before you start mixing up stuff for the family to consume. Now, go ahead and mix that up really well. We're going to add to this some green onions. Or here in New York, they say scallions, okay? Right, guys? All my camera people are nodding their heads saying, yeah, we say scallions. Anyway, I catch him off guard every time I ask him a question. All right, now we're going to mix this up really well. Going to add some onions. I got some onions. I just added the onions. Going to add tomatoes. A little bit of color and also a lot of flavor. Diced tomatoes. Okay, right in there. You can add a little more if you want to. I like to use the tomatoes that are really juicy ripe, especially those hot summertime tomatoes. Gosh, so much flavor. Now we're going to add some mint to this as well. The mint gives it a nice little twist, you know. Let's make some mint juleps. What do you guys think, huh? You know, want to make mint juleps? Everybody's saying yes to that, huh? Alcohol-free, of course. Wouldn't be a mint julep, would it? Kentucky Derby time. All right, here we go. I'm going to toss all this up, get everything coated well. I think you're going to like this tabbouleh. Take your time at home, mix this up. Now, we're going to add some lemon juice along with some oil. And I've been talking to you about how, you know, if the recipe calls for a quarter cup of oil and you only want to use a couple of teaspoons, go for it, you know. You can add a little bit of vinegar or something like that, or you can add juice to it, whatever you want. More lemon juice, increase the lemon juice and cut back on the oil, okay? Make it fit your diet. Make it fit what's good for your lifestyle, okay? Now, a little olive oil there. I'm going to toss it up. We're going to season this with some salt and pepper, of course. Okay? And if you find it's not moist enough for your taste, go ahead and add a little more, like I said, a little more liquid to it, all right? All right. Sarai. Now, let's season this with some salt and pepper. Okay? There's the pepper first. Cool. A bit of salt. Here we go. I'm going to plate some of this up for you. See, I think I've got some tomatoes around here. I want to do something, because this one's a little on the dry side. Let's swap. I can grab a tomato. Some of these beautiful red ripe tomatoes out of my tomato basket. Oh, that's a pretty one there. Ooh, that's a pretty tomato. Now, toss that up. I'm going to go ahead and slice up. And what I want to do is, whoops, it's Martin Yan style. Martin, love you, baby. All right, let's go ahead and make some tomato slices here. And we're going to put these on the bottom of our dish. And all around the sides, just kind of dress it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. My kids love tomatoes. I'm pretty lucky when it comes to getting the kids to eat. All right, let's go ahead and dress out our plate here with some tomatoes. A little color there. We're going to add our tabbouleh right to it. We're going to serve it up. Now, when you get back, I think I've got time for another recipe, or an idea or two at least. So don't you dare leave that TV screen. Look at that. Oh, maybe we get some lemon wedges in here, too. Make this nice and pretty before the end of the show. All right, y'all. Stick around. We got more Pick of the Day with me, Curtis Aikens. Curtis Aikens, yeah. Hello, it's tip time. Time for tips right here on Pick of the Day with me, Curtis Aikens. We've been working with those curly parsley and the flat leaf parsley, all these wonderful parsleys today. And I've got for you a quick, easy tip for a garnish, but it also tastes great. Deep frying parsley. Now, let me show you what I've got here. I've got parsley in my little measuring cup that we kept it fresh. I told you earlier how to keep it nice and fresh. A little bit of water to keep it fresh in the refrigerator. Go ahead and tint that with a plastic bag. So what we want to do is take some of this out and simply cut the curly part off, okay? Now I want you to remove all the water because we're going to drop this into some hot oil. So just take your time. You can break it off or cut it off. Just to really the leafy part. Leave it nice and curly though. Get the leafy part. We're going to go ahead and trim those up. Isn't that pretty? Now, there's a lot of flavor in those stems, so if you're doing the tabbouleh that you saw me make a little earlier, you can go ahead and if you chop those stems up really fine, you'll be in great shape to use those stems. So you can go ahead and dice them up really fine like that and sneak them into your tabbouleh, all right? Or your parsley salad, as some call it. Now, I've got some that are ready here. These are really, really nice and fluffy and curly. Remember, it's loaded with vitamin A, B, C. It's a good thing. I've got my oil nice and hot, and we're going to move over here and drop our curly parsley right into the hot oil. Woo! And we get isn't that nice? There we go. Nice little garnish there. Make sure you get all the water off when you do these. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, a little garnish here. I'm going to go ahead and take this and place it onto some paper towel to drain. Get that hot oil there. We're going to drain that off. Here we go, and we can use that as a nice garnish. It looks a little dark because of that white background, but I'm telling you, it's a beautiful green color, and you're going to really enjoy that as a garnish. Okay, every day we do tips right here on Pick of the Day with me, Curtis Aikens, so you stick around for tips every day right at this time. Hey, welcome back. Where you been? We've got time to do one more recipe for you today before we have to say goodbye. But first of all, let's give that hug, a big old juicy hug. Ooh, 8 hugs a day. You got to get them, and you got to give them, okay? Give those kids a hug. Give your husband and wife a hug. I'm going to do a quick, easy little pasta recipe for you here, pasta sauce. I'm going to add a bit of oil to my pan. Remember now, for the low-fat cooking, all you need is just a dab of oil. Just a dab will do, okay? And go ahead and coat that whole pan like you can. Get your stainless steel or whatever pan you're using. Try to coat as much of it as you can with the oil. And I'm going to add my onions first here. Just nice and hot. There we go. Get our pan nice and hot. Go ahead and add the onions, okay? And let that saute at home for about a minute or two. Go ahead and move them around. And we're going to add our garlic. Now, the reason you add the onions first, because that garlic will burn on you. If you add it too quickly, it'll scorch. So we're going to add our garlic right now, after the onions, of course. And at home, like I said, give that about a minute or two until the onions become clear. And as I've said to you, oh, wow, this smells so good, that onions and garlic sauteing like that. Ooh, just want to eat that. Just eat it like it is. I'm going to add a bit of salt. Again, that helps to get the moisture out. We're going to add our tomatoes. I've got some nice diced, I've got seeded and peeled and seeded tomatoes. Again, remember, place the lid on to trap all that flavor in your pan. I'm going to grab a wooden spoon here. I like stirring in my oil, a wooden fork here. We're going to stir a bit. But if you like kind of a dry or a primavera sauce without the juice, you can just let it cook with the lid off. Isn't that nice? Now, let's go ahead and add a bit of parsley. I've got about, what is that, about a quarter cup of parsley. I'm going to sprinkle that in. Then I'm going to add some vegetable broth right here, okay? This will stop the frying for just a minute or two. There we go. This is what brings our sauce together. It really brings it together here. There we go. Isn't that nice? Now, I'm going to let all the flavors blend. It's going to be neat. Woo! Woo, daddy! Now, I've got my my noodles already cooked. And Curtis and Cole love the angel here, or the cipollini. They like the small noodles. So for my boys, I'm going to use a smaller noodle. For your family, whichever noodle your family likes. If your wife likes those penny noodles, go ahead and use those, man. And you know I'm a guy, so I'm talking to guys. I want you guys to cook for the lady in your life, all right? That's enough for 2, huh? There we go. We're going to go ahead and just see if I got time to plate this up. The reason I like adding the noodles right to the pan is it keeps the sauce hotter longer. So we're going to go over and plate this up, and we're going to recap the show while we're doing it. Of course, I just made for you this nice little easy pasta sauce, a little primavera with the onions, with the parsley and tomatoes. I'm going to serve that up for everybody. And the first thing we did was that tabbouleh and all the information about the wonderful parsley family. So those are the 2 recipes a day, and you know how to get recipes. We always tell you how to do that. It's just about time to wrap this up, and I'm going to get sad because I got to leave you. But you can catch me every day right here on the Pick of the Day. And as I always say to you, and I really want to bring this home, this is what it's about for me, is getting you to get good food, also to get up and do those things that you want to do in life, like me. Learn to read, help someone learn to read. It's a reading group that needs your help in your town. So you get out and volunteer, okay? May the God I love bless each and every one of you. Peace, love. See you in